Welcome, fight fans,
to the Fighters Boys Kick-Ass Podcast.
Your Fight Talk Authority.
Not to mention the most entertaining and talked about podcast with your kick-ass host, Richard ORTIZ.
You mad? Come at me, bro.
And his loyal kick-ass co-host, Senor Cole ESCOVEDO.
Streaming live and worldwide.
Coming to you all the way live from a little place somewhere in Cali. The Fighters Boys
Kick-Ass Podcast.
Fresno, California. We're live here in Matt Production Studios. This is Richard ORTIZ, your host of the Fighters Voice Kick-Ass Podcast. I'm here with my co-host, the UFC veteran himself, Mr. Cole ESCOVEDO. What's happening, Cole?
What's going on, amigo? Traffic beating your ass today?
Well, traffic's kicking my ass, and so is this microphone with a little bit of echo, man, but we're making it happen. We're making it work, man. We're making it work.
That's what it feels like. Yeah.
Does it? Like a hallway?
Yeah, that's the feeling, like, you know, when you're just in a wide hallway and it's got an echo.
The acoustics,
but the acoustics, yeah, that's what it sounds like. It's in a hall, like a wide open space kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, traffic's been crap.
Oh man, it's,
you would think that with everything going on, there'd be less traffic.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I woke up from a power nap and I'm still asleep. I finally got some sleep, man, because of this medication that they have me on because of my
for the knee.
Yeah, exactly. But
pain meds or.
Yeah, you know, I don't want to go into too much detail.
Yeah, no.
Kind of some illegal stuff.
He's looking better, at least.
No, it's not illegal. Yeah, the knee is getting better. I'm down to a cane instead of a walker.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, I didn't see the walker when you came in.
No,
that's nice.
No, it is nice. It is nice. I'll tell you what's really nice is we have all these outlets. I'm going to cover a lot of things today. We're going to cover UFC 251, but you know, we have all these big wigs. We have Golden Boy, we got PVC, and we got TR, which is Top Rank Boxing. And Top Rank Boxing, my man, they let a schedule out today of some mega fights. Everybody else is
official.
Exactly. Everybody else is playing catch up. See, but I'm gonna let our guests go into full detail exactly on what's popping and cracking for Top Rank Boxing. And ladies and gentlemen, our guest, the publicist for Top Rank Boxing, Mr. Evan Korn himself. Welcome to the show, Evan.
Great to be back, man. Always fun.
Hey, I'm watching the work, man. When I say the work, every Tuesday and Thursday and sometimes Saturdays, Top Rank Boxing is taking full control of the boxing world. Talk to us about how it's been going so far. I know we're going to get into detail about life in the bubble, but how are things going so far for Top Rank Boxing?
It's been a wild ride, that's for sure. You know, 2 shows a week. You know, 2 shows and sometimes 3 shows a week if you count the 2 Mexico City shows that we helped work remotely. It's sort of crazy. It throws off, you know, for all of us, it throws off your normal fight week rhythms a little bit, but you sort of have to adjust and you get used to it. You know, I think so much of the credit has to go to our COO Brad Jacobs and Seata, who works behind the scenes, and so many of the other behind the scenes folks who worked out the logistics of the quote unquote bubble. They really deserve a lion's share of the credit as it pertains to the operations.
And Seata, that's the tall girl, right?
She's very tall. She usually handles the credentials for the media, but she has been an absolute rock star behind the scenes. So her, Brad Jacobs, and the operations team, you know, they've worked countless tireless hours to make this a reality.
Awesome. What about my guy Frank Stea?
Frank is done. Yeah, Frank is, again, another. When I say behind the scenes, Frank is definitely a part of that, making sure the fighters know where they need to go. Sort of a lot of the unsung stuff that people and the fans watching on TV don't see.
There it is, and it's coming to pass, man. You know, Cole, we thought we were going to take a left hook or a low blow. We didn't know where the punch was coming from. Testing the waters, just like Dana White with the UFC. We'll get into that. How before he came across with the first event, he wanted to make sure everything was everything dotted, crossed, and so forth.
Dotted, yeah.
Top rank, man, they're jumping in. They're taking over, they're swimming, they're landing, they're making this happen. They have their big fights already lined up. None of this stuff, at a later date. They already got them lined up on the schedule, man. I mean, they're taking the lead right here. What's your whole take on this, Cole?
It sounds like they got tired of sitting on the bench and said, look, if other sports organizations, just in general, if they're putting together plans and implementing them safely and productively, why can't we? Like, what is sitting on the bench going to do besides shelf their fighters, shelf their products, shelf their brand, shelf their market? Like, it shelves everything.
Yeah.
So why not move forward, make a decision and move forward? Got to move forward and see what happens kind of thing. So.
Exactly. Evan, you know what? I'm excited, man. Talk to us about the schedules, these big fights you guys got lined up.
Well, you tell me what big fights. What big fights you? There are some, but which are the fights you are referring to? And then I can...
Hey, man. Of course, I'm looking forward to the trilogy. I'm looking forward to Lomachenko and Teofimo Lopez. And if we could ever get Jose Ramirez to get in the ring, defend, and then him unify the 140-pound division.
Rich, until the fights are announced, let's not count the chickens until they hatch. Right? Obviously, we're optimistic that some of those fights will happen, but still some work to be done. In order for them to come to pass, and hopefully there'll be some big news on the horizon.
Well, I mean, I'm not counting chickens before they're hatched. I call things if they're not as if they are. And I'm confident that you guys, your matchmaking team, your promotion team, and all the team behind the scenes will make these fights happen for the fans, the followers, and the supporters, such as yourself and me and ESCOVEDO.
Well, we hope so, Ricky. We hope so.
Yeah, it's always good to hope, and I really do hope these fights come to pass, man, because these matchups are awesome. I mean, they're very. Let's talk about a fight. Let's talk about matchups. Let's talk about Andy Vinson's fight last night with Lopez. That was a great matchup. That was a great fight, and hey, it gave the fans exactly what they wanted. What was your take sitting ringside at that big event?
It was incredible. I think we've had Andy for a while. We know we've always known he's a tough, gritty guy. But we've never seen him in a situation like he found himself in the 6th round, where he was out on his feet. I think a lot of refs may have stopped that and had been justified in doing so. But the referee let it continue, and Andy dug down. And I think most people ringside, which is probably about 30, 40 people, most people thought Andy edged the fight. I thought Andy won it by a point. I scored the 6th round 10-8 for Lopez, but I thought Andy closed the show strong and won the fight by a point. But he has nothing to put his head down about. He really put it all out there and showed us something.
I agree with you. And you know what? One of the plus points is that post-fight interview, Evan, is how Altibron handled that with class.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think Andy, and I saw this in the fighter meeting, he's matured tremendously in the last year or two. Even in the 2 years since 2.5 years since I've been a Top Rank, the personal growth. He spoke a lot about that in the fighter meetings. He's been reading a lot of self-help books and ways to handle conflict. And I really saw a different Andy this fight week than I'd ever seen before. And in the post-fight interview, I didn't know how he was going to handle it, but he handled it just like Joshua Greer did a couple weeks back, sort of the epitome of class and how you want your athletes to handle it. And listen, he thought he won the fight. He has every reason to think he won the fight, but rather than go after judges or whatever, he took the loss like a champ. And I think fans really like to see that. That's a way. That's a way to endear yourself to fans. That's a way to endear yourself to promoters. So I just give Andy full credit, and I think we're just all so proud of how he dealt with, what's obviously one of the tougher nights of his life.
Yeah, and I was very impressed the way he came out and in my scorecard won the 7th round. After, I agree with you, being out on his feet in the 6th round, I thought he was one punch away from the referee stopping the fight, and it would have been justified. And also you have the cuts, and he really dug down deep, and he showed exactly who he is and what he's all about. And again, Top Rank, I mean, putting these matchmaking, Brad Goodman's looking like a genius here. I mean, these guys come to fight.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think you have some people complaining about some of the matchups, and listen, we've had some bad luck, with the Alvarez Joe Smith fight being postponed, with the Jarrell Miller situation, with Jose Zepeda's original opponent Ivan Baranchek getting hurt in sparring. So there's been some bad luck there, but I think what this shows truly is what. If people could see what Brad Goodman and Bruce Trampo were dealing with behind the scenes and getting some of these matchups made, I think they would have a different perspective. And they've made some really, really solid 50-50 type matchups, on short notice. Listen, two of the big challenges are, a lot of countries, there's travel restrictions, so we can't go to Mexico to get opponents for the most part. A lot of the guys in Europe and Asia can't come in. So you're pretty much, you're by and large restricted to fighters who are currently in the United States. Yeah. That's not uniform, but that's pretty much it. And he's found these guys and who put on really great fights. And we've seen a lot of upsets. Joshua Greer a couple weeks ago was upset. Andy Vances was upset. There's been about 3 or 4 fights where an underdog of about 4-1 or longer has won. So there's been a lot of competitive fights. I think we're proud of what we've been able to do given the circumstances.
There you are. Cole, the boxing fans, they're not complaining whatsoever. I mean, they're sitting down on a Tuesday, mind you, and then a Thursday, grabbing a cold one, a pizza, putting everything else secondary, and just watching some good professional boxing. Yeah,
that's what they've, like I said, Dana White said best, it's just that people are clamoring for it. Like any content you can put out right now is going to be viewed. Any new content you can give out. Anytime I walk into a restaurant or something to pick up something to go, I hear sports on the TV and I automatically look. I'm not even a sports fan in general, but I look thinking, oh crap, is that new? I don't know any better, but.
You know what? Top Rank Boxing is exercising the line of opportunity. When I say that is you got anybody from 130 pounds all the way up to 154. These professional fighters in California or worldwide, they need to sit by their phone and be ready in the gym. And you know exactly what I'm talking about, Evan, because you guys are giving these guys an opportunity. Not only are they winning and taking advantage of that full opportunity, you guys are giving them a call back, Evan. Within a 2-week notice, they're coming right back into the ring.
I think there's thus far, there's been about 3 or 4 guys who are sort of repeat bubble fighters. I mean, we had a guy, Isaiah Jones, lost a fight, and he was back a week 9 days later, and then then he came back and beat an undefeated guy. So he was a guy who lost, stayed ready, stayed in the gym. This kid from Detroit, who's managed by Dave McWater, and stayed ready, and he got another opportunity. Kingsley eBay, a heavyweight from Phoenix, who by the way, sold 2 insurance policies after his weigh-in last week. So
there you go.
You're 6'6", 280-pound dude. Scored a 4th-round knockout. Was back a week later. Beat a previously undefeated guy. So we had two wins on ESPN in a week, which according to the incomparable Bruce Trampler, may have been done by Terrence Ali. Two ESPN wins in a week in the 1980s. But at the very least, he was the first guy in over 30 years to accomplish that. So you get some cool stories like that out of the bubble, and fortune favors those who stay ready, for sure.
Cole, we're talking about a fighter. He comes to perform. He wins the fight, or he may even lose the fight. Doesn't really take severe punishment, but he stays ready in the gym and gets another call, gets the opportunity. Even though he lost, he comes back and now he's in the win column. But he lets everybody know, kind of a throwback in the UFC, kind of a throwback in the olden days, that if you don't take any punishment, you're ready to go. These guys are fighting rapidly, taking advantage of the opportunity.
Yeah, that goes to show that there is not necessarily a lack of fighters either, but it's their organizations that are getting their guys work and getting their guys paid. Like MMA guys would love to fight 1 week, not get hurt, and then 10 days later fight again if they're allowed. Like they would love to. That's consistent pay. That's what these guys are doing. Evan and them, they're getting them paid. They're getting the fighters money in their pockets because they know you can't go out and do your side job or whatever your side hustle was while you were boxing, while you were training.
Wait. We had a guy get a side hustle. He sold 2 insurance policies.
That's right. Okay. I stand corrected. He is side hustling the weigh-ins.
For a lot of these guys, boxing's their side hustle. It's a lot of these guys who are in 4-6 rounders, they make their they have a day job and they make boxing supplements their income, and they hope to get to a point where Cole knows, I'm sure, as a MMA fighter, a lot of these guys, you have day jobs, and you hope to get to a point where one day you don't necessarily need the day job. So a lot of great stories, as I said, have come out of the bubble, and we're hitting high gear with Jamel Herring in a title defense next week. So I think we're all looking forward to that. And it's been for anybody who's not in the bubble, it's sort of hard to describe what it's like. It's definitely, I thought I've had some surreal experiences working in the sport, but this is by far something I never anticipated.
It's a unique opportunity. That's for sure. Presents some very unique challenges.
Yeah, living in the Indian Grand 4 days a week is definitely something I didn't see coming 4 or 5 months ago.
What about the progress you guys are making? Is it what you thought it would be when you were sitting back waiting for that open date, waiting for the okay, waiting to get everything in line? Did you think you would be where you're at today going into that? Because you didn't know what to expect with the whole coronavirus and what the bylaws were and the sanctioning bodies. And now...
Yeah, I mean... yes and no, Richie. I mean, I think, I know, speaking of Brad Jacobs, these plans are obviously in place for a long time, and they've been working on it for a long time. But he I didn't really know much about the plans until we got closer to the bubble. So I didn't know what to expect. I knew we were working on something. From about mid to late April on, we were confident that early June was when we were going to come back. But again, everything about this virus and this pandemic has been so unpredictable that to predict anything would have been sort of a fool's errand. And then it wasn't until we got into May where it was reality. And then Nevada opened up the casinos starting June 1st, and that was sort of when it was okay. We can really, this is really going to be a reality.
Cole, he's exactly right, man. And the ones that are really going for it are the winners are the fans. We're winning because we're getting exactly what we wanted, and we're getting it rapidly. We're getting a full schedule. And these fighters, again, I can't help but just bring up the fact that they're getting an opportunity to be on national TV, to compete again, and
consistently.
Make a name for themselves. They may walk away with a full contract with Top Rank, not just a promotion contract, but as if to say, hey, you're the guy we've been looking for.
Yeah, it gives them more. They're basically giving these guys more opportunities, like you said, to perform on the platform in which they're involved with anyway. So it's kind of on them to take advantage of the opportunity. Like, a lot of people are looking at the C-19 thing like it's horrible. It is a bad thing.
Yeah.
It's fucking all kinds of things up. But in that ripple effect, there are also scenarios like this, like Evan saying, yeah, do we have one guy fight, and the next week he had another fight with us? It's like, it's creating these scenarios where guys who are getting 3-4 fights a year, maybe, they're getting like 7-8 fights now. So not only is their bank account full, but they're being able to sustain, they're being able to train more often, they're being able to start looking at what they want to do longevity, promote their brand, promote their product, whatever that might be. But it's giving them more platform, which isn't something that otherwise would have been available. They would have been stuck grinding it out.
Evan, how crazy has the phone been ringing as far as saying, hey, I'm next, I'm available, I'm ready to go?
I think that's more of a Brad Goodman question, but in talking to him, he's calling everybody, and he's getting calls and he's calling people, and it's, we've unfortunately we've had a few fighters that didn't make the trip because they tested positive for COVID or whatever, and it's, hey, Brad Jacobs, hey, we 6th rounder, 132 pounds, let's go. He's calling all of his contacts, and people are calling him. It's sort of a two-way street there. So I think our philosophy is, we're open for business. Promoters, managers that want to get their guys work. We have a lot of guys in our stable, but sometimes the weights or whatever don't match up, and so we're out there looking, and so
I got a cruiserweight for you.
The bold. I mean, a great example, Gabriel Murataya, who his younger brother Raymond's actually signed to us. He's a preschool teacher. It's his day job, and our first or second show, he had a first-round knockout. He came back last night. ESPN, made sure he was on the telecast because he has a great story. He's a great kid. He could fight. So guys like that who were under the radar beforehand, again, stayed in the gym, stayed ready, and he's had 2 wins on national ESPN in a matter of 3 weeks. So those are the kind of stories that I, love to tell, that we love to push. Clay Collard, your boy Cole, former UFC guy, he's become, out of all the fighters we've had on these shows, pretty much outside of Shakur Stevenson, the most interview requests I've had, outside of Shakur, has been for Clay Collard.
Nice. It's a cross-sport
interest. So I love seeing things like that, and just real blue-collar guys who are taking advantage of the situations.
Yeah.
Cole, you were saying something. Did you say you were available, Cole, or you had somebody available?
I say I have a guy. I got a cruiserweight. If you're looking for guys.
Then email me, Cole. I'll send it along to Goodman.
Gotcha.
There you go, man. There, it's a plug right there. I'm looking forward to, I understand, Hector Madero is going to be competing, I believe it's next Tuesday for you guys, or next week sometime. Does that name ring a bell right now, Evan?
I'm sure. Listen, I'm updating the bout sheets probably after this call, so their name rings a bell, but I can't speak too much about that right now because but it rings a bell, Richie. But I think I have to update that bout sheet soon.
Cole, right now, this day and age, right now, this minute, to be a fighter, you're not signed with anybody. You've never been on national TV. You have to be excited to say, my name is now in this pool right here. I'm ready, I'm in shape, and I'm ready to take on the opportunity. These fighters are getting the opportunity of a lifetime. National TV, ESPN, top-ranked boxing, fans that are thirsty and starving for boxing, and now you get to perform in front of the masses.
It's got to be a little nerve-wracking.
I can imagine.
Especially if you've only got X amount of fights and your plan was to maybe your plan was to kind of grind it, but now the opportunity's presented itself and you and your team and your coach are just like, fuck it, let's go. If they're going to fast track you, let's fast track you. If they're going to offer you a fight, take it. Let's just go, because it puts you in front of the fans and it puts you on TV, which really, at the end of the day, that's all that matters, is you getting in the ring, putting on a fight, and getting paid, and moving on to the next fight, more fans, etc. It's just about growth. It doesn't matter how fast it comes, whether it came now or you were expecting to do it 6 months from now. It's here.
There you go, taking advantage of that opportunity. Evan, I know you got work to do, man, but before I let you go, I got to ask you, what was your assessment with the young Gabriel Flores Jr., and overall, where do you see his career going?
I think we always, I'll speak for myself.
Okay.
I always thought Gabe had tremendous promise and talent. I think his last fight was the first time. And I listen. I always thought he was a potential world champion, but his last fight was the first time I go, "Oh, I'm very confident he's going to be a world champion." Because I think it took him time. He's 19, 20 years old. I mean, he's finally going into his man strength. And I think the biggest thing is his father. They bought a house in Las Vegas, so he lives there. He lives in Las Vegas most of the time now. So the sparring he's getting is better. The work he's getting is better. So for him to realize that he was better off in Las Vegas rather than Stockton for his professional career, definitely paid dividends, and that was by far the best he's ever looked in my opinion. And credit to him and his father for making that move at such a young age.
I agree with you, and we talked to Pops. We've watched Junior fight Evan and Evan Cole, and I agree with you. It's just a matter of when he's going to get that call. I know Team Flores will be ready, and who he's going to take on, and he's right now in the right place where he needs to be. I mean, there's even some news that'll be dropping soon, and I'm not going to go there. That's not my place to go. But I just know good things are happening. More things are coming his way, more opportunity, and he's grasping it, and he's moving forward. I wanted to ask you this. The heavyweight division is so tough. It's so exciting. What is it that you look for in a young fighter before you sign him with Top Rank? That's one of the questions that came in. I got a lot of questions, but I can't give them all to you because I know you got to go.
No, as much time as you need, Richie. Listen, you know what? That's not my. I'm being honest. That's not my place to answer that question. I think. When you look at Brad Goodman and Carl Moretti and Todd DeBuff, they're really the guys that ultimately make that decision. But it's really, listen. It's about talent. It's about character. Out of the ring, does he have a good head on his shoulders? Does he have good people around him? Those are all things I think they look at. But again, that's something that they're better equipped to answer than I am.
You get a lot of your answers there for your cruiserweight there. Exactly what you're looking for. So.
No, trust me. I've totally seen how Evan's job is and the factors and variables that he has to consider, and the only ones he has to consider when looking at fighters. And it's not a big list. There's a small list of things to hit.
I like the fact that he doesn't answer for anybody. He'll stay in his lane, in his zone, and he'll give you what he thinks, where he said, this is what I think personally, but this is more of a question for the Brad Goodmans.
Richie, Brad Goodman, he's going to be in the International Boxing Hall of Fame one day. Bruce Trampler is in the Hall of Fame. Carl Moretti will probably be in the Hall of Fame one day. I mean, Todd DeBuff will probably be in the Hall of Fame one day. I mean, you're talking about Hall of Famers here. So, I stick to what I know, which is, doing some work behind the scenes, helping garner some publicity for our fighters, and just do that. So again, the thing that's great about Top Rank is, guys like Brad Goodman are the best of the best at what they do, and they, I think he's guided the careers of 58 world champions. If it's more than that, Brad, I apologize, but I think it's 58. And Richie, you've seen the work he's done with a guy like Jose Ramirez. It has just been incredible. I think Jose, I'm not saying Jose doesn't get there with without a Brad Goodman, but having a Brad Goodman in his corner certainly helped.
Hey, Team Ramirez is on the way, but at the end of the day, they still got to fight.
That's true. You could do everything you want as far as self-branding, but at the end of the day, you got to get in there and win fights. You don't have to win every fight, but you got to win fights and put on good fights.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you a quick story about Brad Goodman, man, and it's rare that I tell it myself. This is what I know, Evan. Do not ever text Brad Goodman during fight week. This is what I know. Because he's not going to go back and forth on a text. He called me and he said, Richie, do you know what I'm going through right now? Do you know how many fighters pulled out? Do you know how many fighters basically, did you rub my lamp? Did you wake me up? Yeah, exactly. So he goes off, and then he says, Richie, let's have a steak, man. See, he's talking to me, and he has that strong accent. He goes, let's have a steak, man. I mean, just right now, I just got a lot going on. But, hey, he's a straight shooter. I respect him, and he's doing a hell of a job with this matchmaking.
Nice.
No, he is the straightest shooter you'll ever meet. That's for darn sure.
Seems like Goodmans are just good matchmakers.
Oh, they are. Richard Goodman.
Like Richard and Brad. Like both Goodmans I know in the industries, they're just both good matchmakers.
They just have that eye, and they just know how to put it together, man, and how to make that headache go away.
I agree.
So, Evan, man, if you don't have anything more for us, man, I know there's something on your desk, man. Just give us a hint. What can we look forward to? Just give us something for the viewers, the fans, and the followers, supporters, my man.
What you can look forward to is July is our final run, our final fight in these run of shows is July 21st, Tuesday night on ESPN, which will be headlined by Oscar Valdez. So fans have something to look forward to that. But July 21st will not be the end of our fights. We will have more news to come as it pertains to a very good August lineup of fights, and one of the headliners, Richie, might be some young man from Avenal, California. I can't think of his name right now. He's from Avenal. He's on a lot of billboards in the Central Valley. He has like a salsa endorsement, I think, in Fresno. I can't remember his name right now, but you might want to look out for him fighting in potentially August. So that's Maybe that could suffice for now.
Sounds good, my man. Hey, listen, I'm going to ask you something out of your element before I let you go. Cole, I'm going to let you ask him in your format. Ask him who he has in that main event on UFC 251.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, dude, Evan, who are you picking getting their ass kicked on Saturday? Usman or Masvidal? Because talk about six days notice.
Listen, Cole. Listen. Nothing with the UFC. They're part of the ESPN family, and I've watched many a UFC fight in my time. I have no clue. We're too busy, doing our own thing here. I'm sure if you ask anybody who works for the UFC, they would say the same thing about Top Rank Boxing. So I wish them nothing but health, happiness, and prosperity in Abu Dhabi, but I have no freaking clue.
What do you think about the idea of a fight island? How do you think that
of a fight island?
You didn't know that?
No, I know all about Fight Island, Yaz Island or whatever it's called. Listen,
something like that.
It looks like they're pulling it off. So congratulations to them. That's all I can say. I think like Top Rank, they figured out a way to make fights happen in a very challenging time, giving the fans entertainment, and they should be commended, just like our behind the scenes team should be commended as well. I mean, I think, as I mentioned before, whether it's what they're doing or what we're doing, the amount of work that goes behind the scenes, I don't think people can truly grasp sort of the 24/7 nature of what it takes to get it done. And all I can say is I'm just extraordinarily proud of what we've been able to pull off, and the UFC people have done what seems to be an excellent job doing what they're doing.
Safe answer.
There it is. Hey, Evan.
I do. How much of a cop out was that goal. So
No, dude, that was safe. That was about as safe of an answer as you can get. That was just like, I'm gonna kind of go out there,
And he
but
gave
not
him a
quite.
compliment. And he gave ESPN a compliment
He
as far
said,
as the
well, they're
same
part
family.
of the same family. Yeah.
I like that.
And it's almost like I do this publicity thing for a living, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. We're gonna throw some things your way. Hey, Evan, if you let me know when they start opening it up for media, man. I'll take that thing in my nose. You know what I mean?
Listen, honestly, for these shows, we have to keep the numbers as low as possible, because the less people here, the less tests, the less risk of infection. So it's been sort of closed door for now. I mean, I hope we start opening up a little bit, but that's to be determined.
There you go. I know the schmo, for UFC. He's everywhere. He took the hit.
Right.
He's taking the risk.
All the time. It's part of his new image thing.
Yeah, it is, man. I mean, and
listen, obviously the schmo likes the UFC more. Well, the schmo is welcome back at our events whenever he likes. But he's I hope he's having fun in Yas Island, and when he returns to the U.S. and our fights open up, open doors for the schmo.
Oh, there you go. In the fighter's voice. Don't count us out now, my man.
Right.
Exactly.
I mean, it's obviously open doors for the fighter's voice. That's what that's a given.
It goes without saying.
Yeah, that's a given. And hopefully within the next, I don't want to put a timeline, but hopefully we're back in the Central Valley soon enough where you guys receive the VIP treatment.
There you go. I appreciate that. Hey, listen, I'm going to be bugging you and have you back in 2 weeks. I got to have you on I can't do it every week because you're going to get burned out of me, but I'm looking at every 2.5 weeks, man. I love these updates. I want the fans, the viewers, and the supporters to hear it from the man himself or a representative from Top Rank Boxing.
Yeah, not the man. I'm one of the people.
One of the pieces of the puzzle.
One of the
cogs.
people.
There you go. He's just so humble.
Right?
He's just so humble. He really is. But I get where he's coming from. I mean, when you're in that crowd with nothing but Hall of Famers and potential Hall of Famers, you got to know when to step forward and know your role.
Listen, I consider him a mentor. My mentor, Lee Samuels, is a Hall of Famer. Yeah. So for me to think I'm the best at what I do would be just ridiculous. Especially when you have guys like Brad Goodman, who is literally the best in the world at what he does. That would be foolish for me to say, foolish for me to say that I'm anywhere close to that.
You know what? Lee Samuels is a solid dude, and just FYI, he's the one who told me to bug you. He said, keep bugging Evan. He said, keep bugging Evan, and he's busy. He will read his emails. He will play that video. Stay on him. That's what he said.
Lee knows me well. That is correct.
That's right. Hey, listen, I'm going to let you go, man. As always, you're always a class act, and whenever you got some news and you want to share it, man, contact me. We'll make it happen. And you know what? You always give these fighters hope, and you give them promise, and you always come with them with a straightforward answer. And that's the way Top Rank treats their fighters, and giving now, I mean, even more people the opportunity, a phone call away that have never, ever again, has ever fought on national TV, and now they're fighting in front of their peers, their fans, and just making good of their opportunity, Cole. So, Evan, you know what? I appreciate the time. We're going to let you go. We're going to talk some MMA after we let you go. And I just want to let you know, this Friday, okay, there we go. Yeah, he had to go.
It sounded like he was answering someone's question real quick.
Oh, was he? Okay.
Yeah, it sounded like somebody walked up on him.
What I was about to say before he hung up on us was Christina Potcher will be on The Fighter's Voice this Friday at a special day and time of 4 o'clock, and she will let us know what life is in the bubble.
Yeah, living with that industry right now.
Exactly. Cole, let's jump right into it, man. I'm excited. I'm excited more of this card than ever before, man.
I was gonna maybe
watch it.
Now I was down because I kind of wanted to see Peter on it and see how the Holloway rematch goes.
Yeah.
But then when Masvidal got announced, I was like, well, yeah, I'm fucking for sure watching this card now because I wasn't really all that excited about Usman versus Burns. I mean, I wish the guy a speedy recovery, and it sucks that happened, and it's bad timing and shit. You're about to be title fight on pay-per-view on Fight Island, but I'd very much rather see Masvidal Usman.
Well, you know what? I think it's super necessary that you watch that fight.
Yeah, it's super fucking necessary.
Exactly.
No, I definitely plan on watching that card.
The whole card is
Well, you've got Fight Island debut. You've got 3 title fights on it.
Right.
You've got a rematch with Holloway and Volkanovski that we've been looking forward to.
Yeah, that could have went either way, but the right decision was made, and they're running it back. They're running it back because they know it's a good fight, and it could have gone either way.
Yeah, and that'll probably help solidify maybe. I don't know, maybe Gaethje's lightweight, so it doesn't even pull him in a title. But Jan is going to put his bantamweight up as well. So you've got a bantamweight fight, welterweight, and is it featherweight? Yeah, featherweight fight. Yeah, Gaethje's lightweight, right? No, 170.
No. Yeah,
Gaethje's 170. Yeah. 170. So you've got 3 title fights going on, and they're all like good opponent fights. Not like where you get some guy who's fighting some.
You're debuting the island. You're not coming up with no lackluster stuff.
No, they had to make sure
things going.
They had to make sure they put on good fights because they got to find out. Now here's the thing: is with the C19, I think the island was kind of created almost before C19 kicked off. Like the idea of Fight Island was created just for the fact of you've got to fight. Let's say Conor gets into some bar fight.
Is that why they're building, not just supplying, but they are building an actually area to watch the fight? And
probably, I've seen that building off to the side. They're going to have outdoor viewing, so it'll be outdoor. Yeah. And I don't know what the weather's going to be like there, but obviously it's going to be outdoor friendly. So, but even if it rains, who cares? Get down. Let's watch it. I've fought in the rain before. Who cares? Get down. Like, what's the matter? Just no head kicks. You're going to fall.
There it is. Man.
But I do see that it was created before. The concept was created before C19 hit because it was going to be used for guys, like I said, like if Conor got into some fight in Vegas at a bar at a nightclub in Bellagio or something, but couldn't come back, got his passport renewed. You can't come back to the States now. Like, you're a foreigner. You can't come back. They would just have his next fight at Fight Island. You get what I'm saying? Like, his next fight wouldn't get interrupted. It's like, okay, cool, you're going to fight in Vegas in a month, right?
Our own rules here.
Let's just move that fight to Fight Island. It's their own island. It's Abu Dhabi's country. It's a kind of like whatever they want to do.
Man.
So that was there because they didn't create it for C19 because that doesn't really make too much sense to have created it for that. Like, that doesn't serve any purpose. You can still throw fights in Vegas. You can still.
Well, that's scary to think that they did.
Well, no, yeah. I mean, it doesn't make any sense.
If you want to get too deep.
Yeah, but it doesn't make any sense. Like, unless you were building ahead of time and nobody knew about it, and then all of a sudden C19 hit, and they were like, "Oh yeah, by the way, we've got this fucking Fight Island."
Yeah.
Then I'd be super curious. Like, why were you building Fight Island and made no mention of it? That's not like you guys. You guys are always putting teases out there. You're always putting sexy tweets like, dude, you're going to believe who we got coming up next or whatever. Dana White loves doing that because he educates the fans. Yeah. But Fight Island was made so that when they have visa issue problems for big fights and like a visa issue fall through or something, or some countries just like, no, we're not accepting. If they shut the borders to foreign travel, period, just foreign travel in general. Well, now you can't have, Khabib come over and defend his belt in Vegas, which, by the way, I don't see happening any fucking time soon.
Not right now.
Not at all.
No.
That poor dude's going through it right now.
Mentally, he's not thinking about it. That's
not
the last
even
freaking
close,
thing. He's
dude.
like, you know what? Don't even ask me. Don't come around me. Respect what I'm going through, my morning, and what and how he rebounds and how he's never going to be the same. Plain and simple. Period. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care if he comes back and gets a first round knockout. He's still not the same.
I think he either retires undefeated as champion, or he takes his next fight, and I think he loses. Because you got to remember, it's one thing to lose one or the other. It's one thing. You lose one, you still got the other. You lose one, you still got the other. You can make it through.
Yeah.
Khabib can make it through something like that. But to lose one that's both,
that's
bro, that's going to fuck you up mentally, first off, because of who it is. And then second off, that's going to shoot your fucking training out the window. Your whole career up to date has been based on everything he's come up with.
Well, a lot of his discipline, I know, is in his belief, but a lot of it was founded by his father.
Exactly. So a lot of your training and teachings.
And he also made a statement. I'm not worried about being suspended by UFC or anybody. I'm worried about when I come back and what my dad was going to happen with my dad when he gets back.
Yeah, exactly. So for that unfortunateness to happen, like I said, and people be like, "Oh, you shouldn't be saying things about what happens next." I was like, "Well, dude, this is a sport. This is our job is to look at the image and the view, the picture as it is, and come to conclusions, educated conclusions."
Well, the thing about this is we're looking at it as a human being, not just as a fighter.
Yeah, and that's what sucks is when something like this happens. Like, I've seen dudes take less and never recover, just mentally, just never recover because. Like, he's a professional and everything, and I'm sure he has a whole team and there's other coaches and stuff, but that's a main cog in that wheel of what makes Khabib.
And here's the thing, it hasn't even hit him yet.
No.
I mean, he can just be out of the norm and just when it hit, you don't know when it's going to hit you, and it has no calendar, it has no date. and it's going to stay with you every single day. There is no relief. There is no button. There is no Tylenol. There is no nothing. It's just you just have to survive.
It's a pain you can't take anything for. You just have to write it out.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
So, like I said, either he retires undefeated as champion, says, "I'm done. I don't need to do it anymore," or he takes his next fight and loses his belt.
Or they'll probably strip him. But I mean,
no,
they'll give us
won't
time.
Strip him. They won't strip him. They'll give him an option. Say, hey, given what's going on, here's our time frame from you.
Yeah,
we're going to check back in. If you can make that time frame, we're going to promote it. We're going to sign it and promote it. If you can't, then we need to consider you walking away from the belt. Maybe instead of stripping him, I think they would say he's made the decision that he doesn't think he can defend it within the time frame given, and we extended that usual time frame to be respectful of the extenuating circumstances where it's like, dude, bro, you need 6 months to a year to recover from something like that. Maybe 6 months, maybe. You know what I mean? And you should be kind of moving forward just as a human being. Yeah. But if they offer to him and then and he turns it down, at that point, why are you training it down? You need to either step away or whatever. They did the same thing to Conor. Yeah. They just said, you defend it? No. Okay, we're going to strip it. Yeah. Done. Move on. But Conor's an a-hole. So.
Is he?
He has been known to be. But I have too. So
he could be, yeah. I mean, or you got the,
But I'm not smacking old dudes in a bar. So
okay, yeah, I get that.
When they won't drink
but you know
my
what
whiskey.
I'm waiting for, man? I think it's gonna come next month. I want to hear from the jackass on the mic. That's what I want to hear from. The whole segment. You got 5 minutes of the jackass on the mic.
Jackass on the mic to just tell people how stupid
there
I
is
feel about
nobody
things.
saved. There is nobody exempt. There's not going to be one wheel that's not going to be spun.
A fucking checklist of dumbasses for the week.
Exactly. Now, I want to tell you this. And I'm going to share this story with you. This question is going to you, Cole. This is from Joe Valero. It says, how do you think Masvidal is going to do? Without going into detail and giving everybody your prediction, how's Masvidal going to do being just signed to fight a week ago?
I think Masvidal is the kind of guy that's always ready. I mean, you got to remember the guy comes back from Akimbo Street Fights backyard society where he was 17 banging skulls, bare knuckles with dudes. So homeboy come up off a milk carton and be ready to fight. It's just in his blood. He 6 days, 6 weeks. It don't make no difference to him. He's ready.
What's the difference between a full training camp and just training?
The full training camp versus just being in shape, just because it's hard to stay in fight week shape because that requires a lot of damage to the body sometimes. Well, it can, depending on your training methods, but it requires a lot of peaking and stuff, so it can be detrimental. But to be always kind of just in ready for fight shape, like if you're ready enough to spar heavy rounds, you're kind of in fight shape. It's just a matter of like upping the training and tailoring it to who you're fighting. So not being able to, here's what's working against Masvidal, in my opinion. The 6-day notice isn't working against him in so much of a sense that his fight ability won't be there, his cardio and whatever, that's not going to be the question. The question will be, can they come up with a viable game plan in 6 days with nobody to implement it with, nobody to train it with, just kind of drill. They're going to be drilling shit all week, I guarantee you. In close training sessions from Masvidal, they're going to be drilling
cutting
certain
weight.
shit.
Well, let's talk about the 20 pounds in 1 week.
Well, I mean, if he's used to cutting that stuff in a week anyway, this is no different. It's just, hey, bunch of, you do like half of that's water weight as it is, and then he just trims down his diet. Masvidal might not seem like what everybody maybe portrays a high level fighter to be like, because they're like, oh, my nutrition, just because he doesn't talk about it. Look at the dude, he's always in like 0.4% body fat shape. Like, he's not starving himself. He knows what he's doing. He just puts his personality out there and lets his team worry about the fucking rest. Jorge, you just worry about fucking punching people. Yeah. And that's all Jorge worries about. That's all he worries about. Everybody else just does everything else in their lane of the job. Says, okay, cool. Here's your meal for the day. Cool. And he eats it. Like, he knows the routine. This is what it takes to be a champion. This is what it takes to be a badass in the UFC. And he's down for it. Whatever it takes. It's just that his role is train and fight. That's it. So the 6 days is going to be more of a hinderment of training specifically for that fighter and his strengths. Usman had a lot of strengths, his fucking arms being 2 of them, his fists being the other 2. But as we saw in the Covington fight, Usman can go all 5 rounds at high pace. So the cardio will be there. I would say Masvidal's advantage is that he's a banger, and he'll force Usman to strike him. And I think Masvidal might be a better striker technical-wise than Colby, and just tougher, period. I think he's just street tougher, period. It's nothing against Colby. He was a badass. He lost because he got his jaw broke, basically, is what it came down to. Yeah. He's lost, but it took breaking his jaw to finish him off. I mean,
there was no quit in him.
9 out of 10 dudes are going to lose before they even get their jaw broken, or they're going to get it broken on the first punch. So that's what it is. He lost, but it showed that Usman will go 5 rounds against a high-paced opponent, pushing the fight the whole time. So people go, oh, the later he goes, Usman will get tired. His muscles are big. No, he fucking won't. You don't think the dude trains blast fitness type hard hit shit to just make sure his body can supply that oxygen? You don't think they train to supply those muscles with oxygen? That's not the problem. Masvidal within 2 because he forces a street fight. He forces a brawl. Usman's a striker, not a brawler, like not a street fighter. He's a fighter, but there's a difference between a cage fighter. Like you get a guy like Cerrone.
He's a specimen, man.
Yeah, you get a guy like Cerrone, it doesn't matter. He's just a fucking brawler, period. But you get guys that are just great cage fighters, but when you put them in a guy that's a great cage fighter that also comes from a solid street fight background, I think is where that changes a little.
Yeah.
You're now putting a street-proven, battle-tested street fighter.
Has that will.
Now you're giving him the skills of a high-level professional fighter, and now you're putting him in the same scenario. What do you think's going to happen? He's just going to get better. So all he's been doing is quietly getting better. A lot of people are like, oh, it's a joke, it's a look. No, it's just Masvidal finally said, fuck it, my time. He's just embracing it. He's always been this way.
He already won.
In his mind, he did.
No, he won because he was stating, I'm going to retire, cut me, shelf me. So he didn't just say, okay, I'll take this fight. He said, no, hold on a second. Since we're here and you have your pin, let's negotiate the whole contract, the whole scenario.
I'm
everything.
sure they probably retorted with, do you want this fight or not? We're not going to negotiate a whole new contract. We'll negotiate for this specific fight.
He walked away with a brand new contract.
Was he at the tail end of his original contract?
I have no idea, but he's very happy now. He's getting the money that he said he's entitled to, or that he's earned, and he's a happy camper.
So a lot of that's hinging on this result.
Oh, absolutely.
The result of this fight.
It has to.
Like per the win,
yeah,
we'll go on with plan A and B, C. But if you lose, because you came up on 6 days notice and did a solid for us, we'll still do A.
I just like the way people conduct business. They can talk shit about each other, Dana to him to Dana, but when it's business, let's sit down.
Well, yeah,
it's money.
Whereas most managers are probably the one making those negotiations anyway. Like I said, Jorge, he doesn't worry about any of that. He doesn't bother himself. Not that he doesn't want to be aware, because I'm sure he's aware of everything that actually goes on with his career. I'm sure he's very aware of it. People doubt him so much. I guarantee you the guy's way smarter than people are giving him credit for. So I know he's fully aware, but at the end of the day, he knows what my role is. My role is to train and fight. That's it. And be me. It's just that nobody wants to look at it from the light of just accept the fact that it's just his time, kind of. Like, that's it. That's all it is. It's not like he's created this persona or whatever. It's just like Cejudo created a persona.
Yeah.
Then nobody really could grasp.
Yeah.
But Jorge's just been this way. Masvidal's just always been this way since back in the day. It's just that now it's his time. So now we're all getting a bigger dose of it, where we weren't getting any doses before because he was kind of under the radar. But then he fucking blew Askren's head out his ass, and now it's
prior to that too. He had, I believe, 2 knockouts in a row.
Yeah, it was Darren Till fight was a 1-punch crack, bam, done. Then he did and just fucking destroyed Askren, and then went and did, got a doctor stoppage on Nate.
Yeah.
So if you do those in a row, it's not fucking happenstance. Like, you beat a guy that you have to kill to finish, but you beat him so much that the doctor said, "Let's fucking stop."
That was going to be my answer to his question, but the question was directed to you, and he made that. He said, "Make sure it's directed to Cole." Was look at Nate Diaz. He took that fight on a week notice with Conor McGregor, and he was actually taking a shot
on the beach on a boat.
Made weight, and he knew what he can do.
Well, yeah, because those guys, they don't always necessarily say fight week ready, but they're staying at a level that's above everybody else.
Yeah, exactly.
So that when that phone does ring, I got a week, cool. We're just going to bust our ass in Vegas for the week while we're there.
And Diaz is, you got to kill me because I'm coming.
And that's what I'm saying is, I would like to see those two fight again, but I said I didn't want the immediate rematch because it's just, that was kind of a one-sided fight almost. I'm not saying anything specific, but I am saying that was from a very objective standpoint. That was a one-sided fight. I would not mind seeing them fight again, but like I said, I do like the path that I've seen them take.
I like the stoppage because of the cuts. Now, the cuts weren't that bad. I would have said let it go, because
if that fight was in fucking Texas or wherever, somewhere it wasn't, it would have kept going.
Absolutely.
So it's the
I heard that from the man himself.
The state kind of bullshit did that.
I heard that from the man himself, and that was a question that I've asked over and over again. So it's past us. And he also wants the prediction, but don't give that until the end of the show. And let me tell you about this dude, Joe Valero. His first question to me is, "Oh, is Cole going to be on the show?" Yeah. So in other words, if he's not, you ain't got a question for me, man?
Wow. Well, maybe he would have had a boxing-specific question.
So anyways, he said, "Is Cole going to be on the show?" I said, "Absolutely." He said, "Okay, I got a question for him."
Oh, good. Well, no, that's a good one. But like I said, there's things that are in Masvidal's favor because I think he can force a brawl.
Yeah.
And that is his advantage, the ability to enforce that. But at the same time, Usman's not. I mean, he's not a slouch. The dude's a champion. He's a badass for a reason. He just is. But I just don't. I think he's more technical, less gaming. Type fight.
The crazy thing is, Masvidal's getting all the interviews right now. All of them. All the publicity right now. All the interviews.
Well, Usman's always been kind of quiet on his own, with the exception of when they were talking shit to each other. Ever since they were talking shit to each other when he had that cast on his arm, still Masvidal's, I'll fuck you up, but you got a cast on your arm. It ain't fair. I'll beat you up and everybody will say it's because you had a cast.
Did you see when he was coming in and one was leaving? How their paths crossed? They didn't see each other?
No.
You didn't see that?
No, I didn't get to see that yet.
Okay, well, Masvidal, he was doing something where they do something with your eyes, so you got to wear those glasses, okay? Dilate your eye. And he's walking in to get tested. And the champion is walking right out. And Masvidal's looking at his phone, and their paths cross, but they don't see each other. Just like this, just one's coming out of the elevator, one's going into a different elevator.
Oh, wow. That's crazy. Just blind luck right there.
It is, and they were talking about that. Had you seen him, what would you have said? And he said, well, I usually have this, like, third eye, but I was looking at my phone, and, just wasn't meant to be, man. These guys would have probably been cracking each other.
No, that's the thing is, as much shit as they talk, like, I mean, don't get me wrong. You say the wrong thing to Jorge, Masvidal's not going to give a shit.
No, he's done it before.
He'll smack
he's
you
left
right
the
there.
microphone and went after a guy.
Yeah, he, fuck, I forget that guy's name. It was that cat just had a fight.
Yeah.
Masvidal's walked right up to him and was like, hey, had his hands behind him and everything, and the dude said something to him, he just pop, 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 pop. Gave him 3-piece and a soda.
Yeah,
so
3-piece and a soda.
That's always been Jorge. Like, it's nothing new.
Yeah.
It's just that now we're getting a larger dose because the Till fight, the Askren fight, and the Diaz fight. Like, those 3 fights brought his attention level way up to where it is now, to where everybody wanted that fight since that cast interview with the arm casting. Everybody's wanted this
He's
fight.
already put the switch on. It's already on. It's going to stay on until fight time. It's not like, okay, he's relaxed right now, or I'm not worried about that right now. No, it's already on.
Week of, bro. It's what's today, the 8th?
Just that whole attitude, just that look that he says, I'm going to baptize him.
Yeah, dude, no. And
he really means it, too.
Yeah.
No, he does.
It's like, I had nothing better to do this weekend than whip your ass is kind of his perspective.
Exactly. Might as well, get some change.
I guess, but Usman's...
I've never been to the island. I want to go.
And to be on Fight Island, for just being on the inaugural Fight Island card.
Dude, he's kicking back a week and a half ago saying, dang, I don't know, Island, man, these guys won't even pay me. I don't even know if I'm going to fight for them again. And you get that call of opportunity.
It's weird how that happens.
It is.
It is a little weird sometimes how that happens. You get a guy that's high level in there, says some comment like that, like, I don't know if I'm going to fight anymore. Like, what happened to Conor?
Yeah.
We haven't heard hide nor tail about Conor, which I don't really, I mean, it makes no sense. Well, he said he retired, so what would we be hearing? But by now I expected to hear, like, some WWE thing.
Well, the big names that came out, okay, he's not going to get any of them. He's not going to fight Diaz. That's too much weight right now. I mean, Conor's not going to fight at 170. Masvidal is fighting for the belt, so he doesn't need him.
There's no real point in that
fight.
fight.
He's not going to get Khabib rematch anytime soon. So,
well, yeah, the Khabib fight's not happening anytime soon.
What's he going to do right now?
I'd like to see him fight Gaethje.
No, if he's going to fight for the belt.
Well, yeah, but...
Well, no, he's not. You know what? They're going to fight.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They are going to fight because,
I'd rather fight him to Gaethje.
Because the champion's not going to defend his belt right now and anytime soon. They're going to fight for the interim fight.
Belt,
there
exactly,
you are,
which is fucking stupid. I hate interim belts. You either have a champion,
but in this situation, you got to go with it, man.
You either have a champion or you don't. Let Gaethje and Conor fight, but it's not for some stupid fucking interim belt. It's just, this is an elimination match. Whoever wins is the number one contender.
We'll make another bad motherfucker belt.
No, that was fun. It had its thing. I think this, because what's going to happen is you're going to turn into okay, I'm not going to say names. There's an organization would always make belts for certain fighters, just no matter what. It seemed every time they fight, they were fighting for some random fucking belt.
Yep.
And I was just, at some point, some of us were just like, what the fuck is this belt for? Like, how did...
I know where you're going with that.
How are you fighting for a belt? So
I know where you're going with that.
I know that's what it's going to turn into.
I know, and you don't even think that I know.
Oh, I do know. I know you know. But they're gonna turn that into that if they start doing all these random. So like a one-off, like every once in a great while, great. I mean, cool. But like to do it all the time or to make it a thing, just stupid. Belts, just have a belt for the weight class, and if there's nobody there defending their belt, then it's fucking vacant. Then you have an elimination match. That's it.
And you got your mandatories.
Yeah. And if
they're simple period.
Because if there's no belt holder, then you just have a title fight.
And let the mandatories eliminate themselves by eliminating themselves until you have that one mandatory.
Yeah, you have an elimination fight, and then it's like, look, this guy has to defend. If you're not going to defend, we're going to have the guy who eliminated, or maybe there's some stipulation where it's like if you fight the elimination and he won't title, you automatically become title holder. You know what I'm saying? Like we have to have a title defense. But if you took the elimination match and won, and the current title holder is unable or willing to defend, then you just by default become the champion, and then they pick an opponent for you to defend it against. Like that's, I guess, one way. I don't
agree
think
with
anyone
it.
will buy
I know you
it.
don't. I know you don't like the whole belt.
It's a maybe kind of idea. I just don't like interim.
But you know
belts.
what I do? I want to change it up a little bit. I want to talk about something else. Patrick Mahomes, man, 10 years, $450 million, potentially $500 million. And he has a guarantee that if he gets hurt, he gets $150 million.
That's
your career's over. A football
Chiefs
player,
quarterback, right?
Yeah, quarterback.
Yeah.
Let's talk about those.
So
numbers,
his new
man.
contract is $400 million.
Yes.
For how many years?
10 years.
So $40 million a year, basically.
Guaranteed, man.
Now, $40 million guaranteed, or guaranteed based on X amount of games played.
Hey,
so there's some stipulations, probably.
Yes, there is. But either way, he's a winner.
40
We're
million over
not
10.
counting the signing bonus. We're not counting any of the sponsors that's
And
coming
if he
with
blows
it.
his knee out game one, how much is he
$150
guaranteed?
million.
Guaranteed. Blow your fucking knee out.
You're not going to play again. You're not going
Never
to take
play
another
again.
snap again.
No, didn't he just win the Super Bowl, though?
Yeah.
So
he wants to play.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I'll throw it in there.
I mean, that makes sense. Because the beauty of that position is, what are you going to do if you don't offer me it? I'll just go play for another team. I'll get my lawyer, we'll breach contract. The other team that wants me will pay off my breach of contract fee. Or they'll buy out my contract, and then boom. Or you pay me more.
Bro, that's some freaking numbers right there.
That's a lot. $400 million, that's a lot.
That is a
but
lot.
over 10 years, but even then,
It
if you
could
break
be
it down,
as much, it
$40
could be
million
as
a
much
year.
as $500 million.
That's a lot.
That is a lot of money.
A lot, dude. It's like 50, that's a lot.
Speaking of a lot, speaking of who put their career on hold, but yet they're kicking back here, hasn't made a public statement yet. But yet Walt Disney contacts Colin Kaepernick, and he partners with Walt Disney.
Yeah, I
They're
saw
supposed to
something
put together
about that.
some kind of documentary of his life in the last 3 years, man. What's your whole take on that, man?
I think it's, I mean, just Disney. Obviously, that's a touchy subject. So Disney's
It
obviously
is.
taking a gamble. I saw some people posting about that today.
They're not taking it. They're embracing. They're Disney.
Well, what I'm saying is, I also saw one that said that he was going to be like doing something about a kids program or something about U.S. history and stuff. It's like, and they were mad. They're like, how is he going to teach U.S. history? And it's like, dude, open any fucking American history book. I dare you. Tell me how much of that is actually accurate. Tell me how much of that is actually true.
Exactly.
It's all biased. It's all one-sided. It's all the winners who own it. It's so. Don't even get me started on what they do in history books as it is. It's so misrepresented in narrative. So what's wrong with a man who has an image right now, has a viewing fanship, and is already partnered with a company like Nike? What's wrong with giving him an opportunity to do that? Like, if you don't like it, don't watch. Like, that's a real simple thing. If you don't like it, don't watch. Like, people out there, well, there goes my Disney Plus subscription. Are you that fucking narrow-minded?
There was people like that.
This is a jackass with a mic moment. Are you really that fucking narrow-minded?
Yeah.
Where you're gonna take a whole streaming service that's just doing one thing. If you don't like that part of it, don't watch it.
The power of hate and envy is controlling.
That's true too. Is when people get mad when you question the history books already. It's like, whoa, how dare you? It's like, well, dude, I dare because they're fucking inaccurate.
Yeah.
I dare because they're lies. I dare because it's not true. I dare because it's not the whole truth. It's only cherry-picked fucking pieces.
Exactly.
So when people start doing that, I mean, I see Disney taking a little bit of blowback on that. They're obviously going to lose streaming viewers. They're obviously going to lose that. But guess what? You're probably in a contract with them anyway, so you're probably just going to end up having to pay a fee to cancel your contract, or just keep your goddamn streaming contract. Just don't watch that.
Absolutely.
Like, if you really don't like what Disney's doing with that particular thing, don't support it, don't watch it. But you can still enjoy the streaming service and watch the shows that you do like without going and paying some stupid fee to get out of it. Like, are you really that just, oh, I don't like something kind of thing? The same people who are going to do that are the same people that will block you on social media and stuff because you disagree with their point of view. Not even trying to like get mad at them. Just, I disagree with that point of view. Here's why. I'm not saying you have to agree with my view or even understand my view or accept my view. I disagree. Fucking blocked on social media.
People just want to be heard, and they can't control your way of thinking, and they can't take your answer. People aren't ready to hear the answer if it's not their answer. You can't shape and mold people the way you want them. You can train them to be a great soldier, a great quarterback, a great radio host, however you want. But people have their opinion, and they're going to do what they want to do, plain and simple, period. And people are just going crazy right now.
So to answer your question on that, do I think Disney is making the right decision by addressing
embracing.
A correction to U.S. history and how it's taught to our youth and how it's taught to our citizenship.
Basically, how dare somebody teach this to me that doesn't have a degree?
I don't, and that's the thing
I've had those conversations too.
But at the same time, it's like, dude, it's like, okay, if something's a guy, girl, doesn't matter what, if they're going to look at it and go, I don't want Colin Kaepernick teaching me about fucking U.S. history. Look, fucktard.
Yeah.
He's not. He's the spokesman for the documentary. People are writing for him what information to be out, which again can be biased narrative. People can have that argument too. Go, well, what makes what he's saying true? Because Disney
he's reading a
said
freaking
so?
script. He's going to sit down with them and write it with them, but he's reading a script. He's getting paid, and what better voice? What better right now to embrace it? And he's going to come out of his moment of silence. And I'm going to be all ears when that happens.
Do I think Disney's making the right choice by addressing the issue itself? Yes. Do I think they're gambling on who they're having do it for them? Greatly. Who they're having do it for them could have a real strong effect or it could have a real strong negative effect. We won't know until it happens. But it's something that needs to be addressed, and why not Disney's fucking buying up everything. Why not let them try to address
Bro, you hit it right on the numbers. You're going to have people saying, I'm never going to watch Disney again. I'm not going to Disneyland again, because it's the guy in the driver's seat. I put a post up there of Kaepernick on there, and all it said was something to the effect like, you got to sacrifice for what you want if you truly believe. It had nothing to do with him. I'm going about the saying. People did not comment on the saying at all. They just went after Kaepernick, plain and simple, period. And this is before any of this other stuff happened. And and I'm not even a 49er fan. I'm just a fan of his that he said how then went against the grain.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. And the fact that the NFL commission came out and changed their opinion
completely.
One did a fucking complete turnaround and said, yeah, you know what, we probably should have supported him. We probably should have been doing better as far as supporting a cause that needed attention. Like, we're a huge entity. Why weren't we? Like, I mean, just their roster of all the teams alone and the nationalities of all the teams' rosters, you're making money off these dudes' blood and sweat. Like, you should be a little more concerned with that type of aspect. Like, you should be not just going, oh, fuck that, not on our platform. Yeah. And now they're realizing that they shouldn't have done it that way. They could have done it a little different, but they should have addressed it a little different and said, well, let's sit down and talk with Cal and go, what's going on? What's going on? What are you doing this for? What message are you trying to bring attention to? We even
got the Washington Redskins with pressure that they may need to change their name.
I mean, if you're going to change one thing, you should just address all of it.
Okay. Now, here's something. I'm going to be real careful how I do this because I don't want to get into this. Who'd you vote for and who didn't you? Bro, check this out. You're the president of the United States. Stay in the lane. Work on controlling the country. Don't talk about sports. Don't talk about Bubba, Indy 500. Don't talk about the Washington Redskins. Don't say these guys need to apologize for what they said or did. They had no control over it. Stay in your lane, okay? Whether I respect you, I don't support you, yes or no. I mean, you're the president of the United States. I got to abide by your laws. So being that should answer the question. But don't come around talking about sports. Stay in your lane, man. I mean, you got a whole job agenda ahead of you. Stay in your lane.
Yeah, I'm a little confused sometimes how people of high level of political power and positions bother themselves with
order you to apologize.
Yeah, or bother
Shame
themselves
on you
with sports
for saying
or
that.
Anything. It's ridiculous.
Just stay in your lane. It's like, Cole, come on. Cole, no, I'm going to tell you, let me show you how to sprawl. Let me show you how to get out of a leg lock. And you're like, Richard, you're like, Richard, stay in your lane.
At first, if somebody came up to a guy like me and said, hey, I had this really cool sprawl technique I wanted to show you, I'd be like, dude, show me.
Well, yeah.
I don't.
But you're doing it wrong, Cole. Let me show you how to do it right.
Now, see, that's where I would
Cole,
be like,
let me show you how to
hold
take a
on.
punch, how to slip, okay?
I'd be like, yeah, show me how to take a punch. I'm going to punch at you. Show me how to slip this punch you're talking about, and I'll just fucking crack you.
There you go.
Not you, but in general.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But I'd be more open-minded. Like, if somebody was trying to offer a new technique, I'd be like, show it to me. I might not get it, and I might not like it, and be like, cool, but thanks for showing me.
Yeah.
I might be able to pass. Because down the road, someone's going to go, man, I've been trying to expand my knee lock, library and knowledge. I'd be like, you know what, actually, I know a guy that like 2 weeks ago tried to show me this new knee bar he was working on. Like, here's his name. Get in touch with him. And boom. I've done things before where people like question me about it and like, wow, why are you doing this? It's like, well, why not? What that did was potentially helping somebody else do something to better their lives. Who cares whether you agree with whoever that is or not? Like, the reason I did that was so somebody else can benefit from it.
Hey, man, it just comes down to that old cliche, man. You don't got to like everybody. Just respect them. Give them the time of day. Work with them. Get the job done. And
Be
move
open-minded.
on. Exactly. Be open-minded. Now, get to these picks. Get to these predictions,
Man.
man. 'Cause I've been waiting because I tagged you, and I said, hey, what are your thoughts?
I know. Okay, but so we were talking about the Usman fight.
And good question, by the way, Joe Valero.
So we'll start at the end. We'll start with, it's been forever since we saw a Van Zandt fight. So
Yeah.
I'm super, super curious to see where she's at right now. She's been doing so many different things
Yes,
with
she has.
her
Marketing,
brand.
yeah.
Which is fine, which is
Yeah,
smart. It's what you're
absolutely.
supposed to do. Granted, I don't think she's been in the ring light as often as she should be to give the strength to those different brands that she's trying to expose herself with and get traction going with. Like,
Yeah.
you need more fights a little more regularly to get, because those things will take care of themselves, provided
Yeah.
you've got the fighting.
You're the face. You're the poster.
Yeah, you're the face and a poster thing, but you got to be in the ring more often, I think,
Yeah.
is her. So I think she's not a horrible fighter. She's not a bad fighter by any means. It's just she's in the right place. She's at the right time. She has the ability. She obviously has the good camps. She's with the right team. Like, she has the potential is all there.
Yeah.
It's just that I don't think she's been able, injuries barring, not her own fault,
Yeah.
but I think she has potential to be going, and the fights will give that brands or the brands that she's trying to grow more strength. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Like,
well, I mean,
those
she-
won't really grow until she gets back in the ring and gets fighting again.
She has those looks, and she's marketing that.
She is. She's exactly what they're looking for as far as promoting and stuff. And I mean, she needs, like I said, you don't have to win all your fights or
Yeah.
anything, but you need to be putting on fights and you need to be
Yeah.
winning. You have to be active.
Stay active, exactly.
Yeah, it's hard to promote those other side brands products with your fighting image when you're not fighting.
Yeah.
So, but I pick Van Zandt. I don't think Rebus. I think she's more of like a journeyman fight level at this point. I'm not saying she's, again, not a bad fighter. I just don't think she's going to be Van Zandt. I think Van Zandt is very aware of how important a W is on this fight. Saturday.
Absolutely.
Like, very important.
So are her sponsors.
Yeah, but I mean, outside of like Reebok and Monster and stuff, like, I mean,
Well, her brand. I mean, she got
her
some
brand
things going.
was, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is
yeah.
she needs to be aware,
Yeah.
and I'm sure she's fully aware of how important this W is. Like, all W's are important, but
Absolutely.
this one right now, she really needs to get that traction going forward with a win. Unless she loses and it's just a badass fight, I'll take that too.
Yeah.
That still ups her stock.
She's a lot
and-
tougher than what you think.
Well, yeah, I know she's tougher than what a lot of people give her credit for, but it's just that she needs to be more active. She
Yeah, I
hasn't
agree
been
with
able
you.
to be as
I
active.
agree with
So, I don't think Andrade is going to beat Nunes. I think that's going to be a
First round?
2-round at
Okay.
most. I think it makes it to the end of the first, maybe, provided Nunes doesn't get a range right away. If Nunes gets a
Yeah.
range right away with the first 2 or 3 pops, that's it. It's going to be lights out before the first round's over, just because she knows her range, and once she has her range, she knows her strength. She's confident in her striking
Yeah.
beyond. There's no question there. So I'll take Nunes on that one. And then the bantamweight title fight, Aldo and Jan.
Yeah. You're not happy with that one, but who do you have?
Well, it's not that I'm not happy. I think Aldo, there could be an argument for Aldo's both of his last 2 fights,
Yeah.
decision losses. There's
Yeah.
an argument, easy argument there for
Yeah.
the winning, which is how I think they're justifying this fight. Because you know me, again, fuck a jackass with the mic. My opinion matters very little. Is that I don't like seeing guys with losing records or even just lost their last fight getting title fights. Like, where the fuck is the logic there?
Yeah.
Just really think about it
I
in the
get it.
concept of you lost. You don't deserve a fucking title fight.
I get
but,
it.
Given this, I think Aldo is a good opponent right now for Jan. I think Jan is now coming into his own. I think we're going to really see what Jan is capable of. He just had a really huge test with Uriah. He passed that test, so we're going to see more.
That guy's dangerous, man.
He is, and so I think this will be a good striking opponent. Uriah was a great striker with exceptional wrestling and pace pushing and stuff. Aldo's a little bit taller. It's got some more reach. His strength is the striking.
More elusive,
So,
too. I don't think he's going to sit there
He's
and
got
take
the
something
foot traffic.
clean.
Yeah, he's got the foot traffic and stuff. I think Aldo's head's where it needs to be with these last 2 fights we saw. Because before that, he was kind of roller coastering. So
Yeah, exactly. But he put a good account of himself. Like, he can easily have won his last 2. So I can see this not being a cakewalk, but, I mean, this monster, he's something different right now.
I see a finish in this one. I'm kind of torn. I think Jan has the ability, obviously, to finish veteran fighters, even guys that aren't over the hill at all.
Strong, man.
He's strong. He's a little shorter. I think he'll try to utilize his wrestling strength on Aldo on this one, but I think Aldo, just with his experience of fighting guys like Faber and Mendez and things like that, that he's going to have an answer for that. It's probably going to be a right knee, to be honest. So I see Aldo actually probably winning this. I don't see a decision on this. I see one of these guys finishing the other. I see Aldo finishing.
Okay, let's get this clear. You're going with Aldo to win.
I'm going with Aldo on this one. I see Aldo taking back the bantamweight because he used to be feather, so I think Aldo taking the bantamweight title. And
Surprise on that one.
Probably going on a little bit of a run for a couple fights maybe, and then after that I think he'll probably be like, okay, I'm out.
All right, we're gonna see.
So yes, I'm taking Aldo on that one with a finish.
Surprised.
And then Holloway, Volkanovski, I think that one will probably end up a decision again. I think they both are fully aware what the other one's capable of. Volkanovski's going to go in with the confidence of knowing I already have a W
And
over
still,
you, but on a finish.
Or a new. Or once again.
I'm going to think it ends still.
You know when the ring announcer says, and once again, for a split second. Yeah, for a split. Yeah, for a split second, you're like, okay. But I mean, I know, but I'm thinking, sometimes I even question myself, like, okay, what do you mean?
Yeah, and so, well, I think it's going to be in still. I think Volkanovski holds on to the featherweight belt. I think he knows what he needed to do to try to beat Holloway. They implemented it. Now they know what changes need to be made. This is really a tailored scenario. You get to fight a guy that you've already beaten. You already know most of your game plan. That's why I'm surprised
it's coming right back, right away.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good fight.
Right,
it was a good fight, so why not run it back?
Yeah.
It was a good fight. Why not run it back? Why not? It was a good fight. It's worth it. I'm behind this, but I see Volkanovski with the holding on to his belt on this. In fact, I don't think it'll be a decision. Probably fourth, maybe fifth round finish.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Tap out or knockout?
I don't see him tapping out Holloway. I don't see him tapping out Holloway at all. Holloway's just too good on the ground to get tapped, especially later on. I think his pride's just too strong. He just won't let you submit him and let you break it. But I see Volkanovski winning it.
Okay.
And then I see Masvidal within 2. And if he can't do it within 2, it will get rapidly harder for him to finish off Usman. Once the third round comes and goes, I put Usman with either a decision win or a fourth or fifth round finish against Masvidal. So that's how I see that fight going. If Masvidal can do it in 2, which is what I'm thinking, he'll do it in 2. But if not, and we get to that third round and past it, this is now Usman's area. This is where Usman's gas tank is probably about 75% still. Masvidal's probably at about 25%, 30% left.
I want to see how many stuffs that he takes, that where he stuffs the takedown, and how much that's going to take out of him leading into that second half of the fight.
Stuffing?
Yes. Now, because that takes a lot out of you.
I don't think Usman will shoot.
Oh, I think so.
I think he'll bang it out with him just to try to prove a point.
You think so? Not the right distance. You think so? Mm-hmm. No, he's not going to do that.
After his fight with Covington, his confidence in his striking and ability to just fucking take a punch and his striking ability have to have gone through the roof after that. You know how fucking
Well, you may be right. If he takes one, he's definitely going to shoot.
Well, yeah. If Masvidal puts one on his chin once or twice, then he's gonna back up and go, okay, stop it. What are we good at? And then they're gonna make adjustments. Go, stop. What are you good? Usman, what are you doing? Stop. You're good at this. Let's change game plans. Because guys at this level might say, oh yeah, this is my game plan. Well, reality is they have a plan A, B, and C sometimes. Plan A was this. After round 1, if that plan A doesn't look like it's working at all, it's like, okay, let's switch gears, move on to plan B.
And then they're asked, why did you change it? And he says, shit, because I got hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely
right.
Or
I was getting tagged with something that we specifically trained to avoid, and he was still landing it, so we switched to a different tactic because that tactic was not working.
Yeah.
Got to do it on the fly sometimes, man. Like, I've heard guys yell out, fuck it, plan C, mid-fight. And all of a sudden, a guy who's been just banging it out with you all of a sudden faints and then shoots, gets a double, takes homeboy for a ride, mounts him, and the fight's over.
Steps down, bites down on his mouthpiece.
That's it, yeah, because it was the whole time, it's like, we want to avoid our wrestling. We want to avoid our wrestling. Let's not shoot. Let's not shoot. Let's not shoot.
Yeah.
Don't get takedowns. Keep it on your feet because that's what pays the fucking bills.
Yeah, exactly.
Keeping it on your feet. That's how you get those return phone calls. So.
Exactly. Well, you wrapped it up right there.
Yeah.
I do want to say this. This Friday at a special day and time, I hadn't even checked with Cole, but I want Cole to come here in studio and make this happen because it's an opportunity to have Christina Potcher back on the show because
she's great.
She's busy because of the fight. Mm-hmm. And she said, Richard, all those days and even those times, I got fight week, I got fight meetings, I have everything going on. And I want it from a female's perspective. And as a she does commentary, and she's on her way to the Hall of Fame, I will say that. Great professional. I just want her feedback on the whole boxing and everything.
Another view of
life,
the industry right now.
Everything, how life's been changing for her, how she reinvented herself, because she was kind of sitting back for a while. Got the call, and now she dove back in. But, enough for me saying things. I'm going to let her discuss that with the viewers and the fans and the followers. And also, I will say this. Andy Vincent, South Ibaron, I had you winning the fight by, I do agree with 1 point. I think that 6th round was a 2-point round. You were hurt. You were out on your feet. You were 1 punch away. But one thing that didn't stop swinging was your heart. And you had more heart than Valentine's Day, my man. You held it together. You came back, won the 7th round. The 8th round, 9th round was close, and I believe you closed the show with that 10th round. You did enough to get the W, the victory. I'm not a professional judge. I'm not the referee. I'm not your corner. I'm just sitting here and letting you know my opinion and how I feel, but I don't stand alone. And in doing so, you showed a lot of people your guts, your heart, your tenacity, and that you are a true champion inside and outside of the ring. And I'm most impressed with the way you handled that post-fight interview after the fight. We spoke, we communicated this morning today, and we're going to have you on next Wednesday. It gives you time to evaluate exactly where you're at, and I know you're going to have an educated answer on all these questions that are coming in, but I know Top Rank embrace your performance. And from what I'm hearing, they are going to have you back, my man. So, class act, Andy Altibedo and Vincent's. Anything else, Cole?
Just one thing for the takeaway fans, something to think about. You mentioned Mahomes $400 million over 10 years, right?
$450 million.
Didn't Canelo make like $300 or $500 million in one fight?
No, he had 10 fights to do that.
Oh, okay.
But that's what they offered him. Boom, that was a contract. He was number 3.
Okay.
And they had the Conor McGregor, they had the Floyd Mayweathers, and all that type of stuff.
What Mayweather make in that fight?
Oh no, Mayweather made $200 million in one fight.
One fight.
Yeah, one fight.
Made 50% of Mahomes'
One
10
fight,
years.
and Conor made $100 million.
So he made in one fight what Mahomes is going to take 5 years to make.
Yeah, exactly. Isn't that crazy?
Something to think about, guys.
Exactly. I mean, Mayweather.
No matter how high fucking paid a quarterback.
They can say whatever you want about Mayweather. He cut the middleman out. He is a genius when it comes to marketing, and the man can fight. And hey, the rest is history, man.
There's more money to be made for the individual.
Oh my gosh, yes it is.
That's it, man.
Yeah, man. Hey, check this out. I was in a power nap, bro. I haven't been able to sleep because of the pain medication, and I was out, and I was like, no, we got a show to do, man.
30 to 45-minute naps.
Got
Like
a
when it
show
started
to
looking
do.
at it, like until we heard you were in traffic, I'm like, okay, well,
traffic was bad too.
I was like, is Rich going to have this guy call us? What does he want us to do? I was like, I was thinking, man, we're just going to have to roll, and then Rich will be like on the phone when he comes in. All right, plug it in. Let's go. Let's go. We're going.
Go. We've done that before. We make it happen, man. But I know we got some good things coming. Appreciate you guys following us and supporting us. Hey, as always, unless you got anything else, Cole.
That's it, baby.
Hey, it's a wrap here. Fresno, California. Thumbs up for Richie.
Okay, fight fans, it's not goodbye, but until next week.
Remember.
It's always voiceography at its finest. So on behalf of Richard Ortiz, Cole Escovedo, the special guests, and all the crew right here at the Kick-Ass Podcast, saying hasta luego, babies. And always, thanks for listening.